Das Comics. Das here with you. Actually heading up to the comic shop. It is Wednesday, new comic book day. December 5th, 4th or 5th, I'm not sure. But yeah, best day of the week. So we're heading up for new comics. But first, I'm going to make a couple of stops to one of my old stomping grounds in Flint, Michigan. A little trip down memory lane. I actually drop off some canned food and some comics to donate. So we'll do that first and then head on up to the shop. Right, and we're getting there. We're heading to Flint. Comic shop that I go to is in Flint, Michigan. It's about 15 miles from where I live. I'm on the kind of the outskirts, the suburbs of Flint, if you will. Okay, so we're going to jump on I-69 here. There's the Flint General Motors Metal Center. My dad actually worked at for over 40 years. GM Flint Metal Center. Yeah. All right, we'll check back in when we get closer. We are heading to our first stop, and we're heading to the book drop, and I'm going to put 4 comic books in the book drop. So maybe the hope is some underprivileged kids will be able to get a comic book in their hands. And then our second drop is a food drop. And it's just a little roadside stand. So yeah. And then we'll take a little trip down memory lane. I used to live in this very neighborhood way back in the 90s. In 97, when I was 24 years old, and I'll take you by the spot where I lived with my then girlfriend, who became my ex-wife and mother of my kids. So yeah, turn a left right here. Okay, we come up this street and we're getting stopped at the light. That distant traffic light up there is our turn. We turn right. And the book drop is right there after you turn right. Here's the book drop. And what I'm going to do is park over right in this parking lot right here. Okay. Yeah, let's get our books. Okay, these are the books that we're putting in there today. Superman book, Marvel, Ultimate Marvel Team Up, Superman Metropolis, and A Bizarro. 4 books. Okay. And we'll just put those right there, and we'll see next week. Okay, yeah, my phone cut off, but we'll see next week. I'll stop back by next week and see if they're gone. So, yeah, now we're heading to the second stop, which is the food drop. Like I said, this is just a roadside food drop up here. And normally when I put canned food in here, I go to the comic shop, buy my comics, and drive back by, and everything's gone. This stuff does not last here at all. It's that little blue box right there. And it is completely empty. Okay. So we'll go ahead and Chef Boyardee. Once again, just trying to do something for some underprivileged, right? There we go. And I'll usually leave the bags just in case. A pretty good little mix of stuff. There you go. And that's that. On to the comic shop. All right, now we're heading to the shop. It's on this road. Going to be right up here on the right hand side of the road. This is an awesome comic book shop. The Amazing Bookstore. And they're open a few minutes early, so let's go on in. Actually, I'm not going to film inside, so I'll see you in a minute. All right, well, unfortunately, Diamond Distributing did not distribute. So all the comic shop had was DC, so I went through and I picked out what DC books I want, and I just put them in my pull box. Because my comic shop, the Amazing Bookstore there, they give you 30% off cover price, but you have to reach a certain threshold. It's like 10 books or something like that. So I just put what I wanted in my pull box, and I'm going to come back probably, I don't know, tomorrow to get the rest of my books. And I wanted to get West Coast Avengers #1. And they actually had the limited to 3,000 PX previews copy. They had 3 of them. I took 2 of them, and I put 2 of them in my box. So I'm buying 2 of the limited to 3,000. West Coast Avengers #1, which I'm really happy about that because it's limited to 3,000, and it's a really cool cover. Normally I don't do variants, but this is a variant that's like a ratio variant, so I will. It's probably a 1 in 10 or a 1 in 20 or something like that. I don't know, or a 1 in 5 or something like that. But anyway, look at these dogs. Hold on, dudes. Don't be running across the street. Okay. So anyway, I'm coming back to pick up my books and get my 30% discount. But I'm going to go back to the place where I left the food and the books. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drive by where me and my ex-wife lived in 97, way back when I was 24 years old. So, yeah, I'll be back in just a second, and we'll check that out. Okay. The street that I lived on was Montana. Look at that burned out old thing. Everything is so burnt out. This place is so depressed. Here's Montana Avenue. This is the street that we lived on. And the address was 1409, and it was at the very end of the street. It kind of tees. It kind of comes down to a T. See the T down there, way down right there. The house is right to the right of that T on the end of the the street. And I remember it had this fenced in yard, or did it? Quite remember. It was right here where it's gone. It was this lot right here is where the house was. It's gone. Wow. Yeah, that's where it was, and it's been gone. You can tell it's all grown over and everything. Huh. All right, well, that's where the house was that we lived at. So, yeah, I'm back home, and I just got done reading West Coast Avengers #1. I'm going to go back to the comic shop today, and these are just some back issues that I picked up. I'm going to pick up my new comics. I think I'll go back today. And anyway, I missed this one last week, and I wanted to pick it up. I grabbed 2 copies of it. There's another one right here. So I got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #4. I got another copy of Justice League Unlimited. This is my 3rd copy, actually, of this book. I just really like this cover. I love it. And I got 2 copies of cover A of West Coast Avengers. And I just got done reading this book, and I really enjoyed it. It's kind of Tony Stark putting this team together. Tony Stark and War Machine putting this team together. And basically it's a team of kind of reformed villains. Ultron is one of the characters, and I guess I don't really want to spoil it, but I like Blue Bolt. New character. He's kind of a despicable. He kind of makes me smile. He's ridiculous. He's a liar, and he's a criminal, and he's kind of despicable, and I don't know, it just kind of cracks me up a little bit. Ultron, I mean, this comic kind of made me go, holy crap. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about the story, so if you don't want to hear it, I'll give you a few seconds to fast forward through. So starting right now. Okay, the West Coast Avengers it opens up and Ultron's saving some people from a burning building. And they're kind of skeptical about Ultron. Tony and Jessica Drew are talking, and they're like, well, do you have a contingency plan if this doesn't go as planned with Ultron? Because they're kind of skeptical whether he's actually going to turn out to be the good guy. And it looks good. He looks like he's turned the new leaf, Ultron's being kind of empathetic towards some people, and he's acting like a reformed robot, I guess you would say. And they go to the hospital after this. They have another run-in with this, basically a militia group called the Sons of, I forget. I don't know. They're like a militia group, basically, though. And the Sovereign Citizens, the Sons of the Sovereign, or something like that. And they get into a big blowout with that group, and Blue Bolt blows up an elevator shaft that has gas lines or whatever, and it explodes, and they end up in the hospital. Blue Bolt ends up in the hospital, and a reporter's talking to him, and he's blaming everything on that Sons of the Sovereign, or whatever their name was. And he's taking credit for saving everybody, and he's the one that actually blew everyone up. And Tony Stark and Spider-Woman are talking to this cancer patient who is sadly doesn't have much time left, right? And so anyway, let's go to the end of the book, and you have this like a cult type setting, and Ultron's in there and doing really evil stuff. He promises that cancer patient that she can heal and live on, basically, and what made me be like, holy crap, was Ultron says, are you ready? This and that, and it's going to hurt for a little bit. And he like grabs her head and burns the rest of her body away, and he's carrying her head. And I was like, whoa. And then he takes over and puts her head and fuses it onto this robot body. So she is now, that is a cameo of a character. It's a cameo of, her name's Meredith, the cancer patient, and her head gets fused onto a robot body. And it's Ultron doing it. So Ultron is not reformed. He's not good. But I really liked this. This was a good story. So kudos, and my hat's off to Duggan. Not Jim Duggan. Not, not the wrestler. Jerry Duggan. Yeah, so good book. I liked it. I'm glad I got 2 copies of this. And I'm thinking about picking up the 1 in 3,000 copy. There's a variant. I think I may have mentioned it. Some variant that's a 1 in 3,000. I'm thinking about buying 1 or 2 of those. So, yeah, I'm going to wait until this new comic book day is all squared away before I go ahead and upload this video. So, I do want to go back up to the shop today, pick up my new books, and go from there. Yeah, and we'll do a new comic book day haul. And I want to drive back by the food drop-off and see if that's all gone. Anyway, yeah, so I'll be back later on. I'm going to give it a few hours. I'll probably call the shop because it's a good half an hour, 25 minutes to half hour from where I live. So I want to make sure that they do, in fact, have all of their stuff before I go back up there. So All right. We'll do it again later. Good book. Really, really enjoyed this. Right. New comic book day. Back home with my books. So let's see what's in the bag. Get out of here, bag. Okay. Now, I don't know if my shop, I thought this book came out last week. This is Venom War #5. This is the first appearance of a new Venom symbiote. So, yeah, I bought 2 copies of that. And here is All New Venom #1. I bought 2 copies of All New Venom #1. Okay, Absolute Superman #2. Here is Batgirl #2. Batman #155. And I actually think I got 2 copies of this in here somewhere. Yeah, I do. It's got the Court of Owls in it, and I do like the Court of Owls. So I picked up a couple copies of that issue. We have Action Comics 1078. Grimm Fairy Tales #90. Now, I don't know if this is special for just this issue, but this issue, Grimm Fairy Tales, did go from $3.99 to $4.99. So I don't know if that's, you know, it says 22 pages of content, so it's the same as when it was $3.99. So I think they just upped their price $1 with issue #90. We have X-Men #8. I'm looking forward to reading this one. I might have another X-Men #8. Oh, wow. No. No, I don't. Okay. No, I only got one X-Men #8. Here is Star Wars High Republic Adventures. Echoes of Fear #3. Okay. Here we have, oh, I do have 2 copies of X-Men #8. There's my other X-Men 8. Here's the Ultimates #7. We have Wolverine #4. I've enjoyed this book so far. We have from Dark Horse, again, Star Wars High Republic Adventures, Dispatches from the Occlusion Zone, #2. Okay. We have Miles Morales, Spider-Man #27. Okay. Gunslinger Spawn 38. And I picked up 2 copies of West Coast Avengers #1. This is the PX exclusive variant, limited to 3,000 copies. It had an $8.99 price tag, and I paid 30% off of that. So I think I ended up paying, I don't know, whatever that is, whatever 30% less of that is. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. Limited to 3,000. I like this story. It has a first appearance of Blue Bolt, which, is he going to be good or bad? I think he's leaning towards bad. He seems like a pretty despicable dude. And it's also the cameo, remember, of that character, that Ultron. I'm not going to say anymore. Yeah, I already went into that, and I gave a spoiler alert, so I'm not going to go into any more detail. But I got 2 copies of that variant. Yeah. So I'm digging that. Now, I want to kind of look at one of these books. What do you think? Let's take a look at this X-Men. Raid on Greymalkin. I'm kind of looking forward to that story, to be honest. I am looking forward to that. Okay, so that's the haul, and we're just going to flip through X-Men. I will read this, but let's just flip through it, get a gist. We start off with Beast. Beast is in prison. And we got a couple people coming. This looks like the person running Greymalkin. He's in Greymalkin, which is a prison. Now the X-Men, Scott and the X-Men are chatting. There's Zorn. That looks like Zorn. I have not seen Zorn since the early days of New X-Men, back in the early 2000s. It looks like Zorn. And we're back at Greymalkin prison. And we got Beast sitting with Jubilee. Pretty good art. Uh-oh. What's going on here? This dude looks like he's trying to hit somebody. And she is not happy about eating mutant food. I'm eating mutant food. She's not happy about it. She's crying. She's not used to this. She's from a really uppity. This is Calico. She's one of the new X-Men that debuted in Uncanny. And she's not used to this. And what's this guy got going on? He's getting ready to smack somebody, and Beast is stepping in. It looks like Beast got smacked. Storm looks good. All right, yeah. Beast got smacked, and now Beast is getting a fight going on. Now Beast is getting really beat down by these guards. That ain't cool. Oh, we got a big boom. This is probably the raid on Greymalkin. X-Men are in their ship. Their ship's right there, I think. I don't know if that is their ship. That's a weird looking skull type deal. Okay, what if advertisement. I don't really care for the what if stuff. And we have a monster? What is this? Get ready for their next pass. What? Earthquake? Earth? No, Limbo. Limbo monster? I don't get it. And she knows it's the X-Men. I don't know what this dude is all about, this monster. There might have been some explanation about it before, but they're getting ready for battle here, obviously. And the X-Men have arrived. There's the Juggernaut. Here's these three. Looks like Psylocke. Psylocke looks a little strange. I like her classic look. I think that's Psylocke. I like her classic look a lot better. I do like the way Juggernaut looks. He looks pretty cool. And Scott looks cool. But Psylocke, I don't know. She looks okay, but she looked a lot better before. But the raid is on. And they're running up. You got some resistance guards here. The X-Men are raiding Greymalkin. And that's it. So the raid has begun. The raid on Greymalkin has begun. Or it's not over. What's this? Maybe it's not over. Those were just a couple ads. Yeah, this is the raid. There's a big monster. I don't know what's up with this thing. Is that the blob? Blob has showed up. There's magic. Then Blob says, Scott says, I don't want to hurt you. And Blob says, you can't hurt me. And Magic says, I can. And I guess she just put him to sleep or something. And now here's the Uncanny X-Men. They just showed up. And we have Rogue showing up, and there's Scott. So we have the Uncanny X-Men showing up in Gray Malkin with the X-Men. And this dude right here looks kind of cool. Who is that? Is that one of the new X-Men from Uncanny that just now has a mask? I've never seen that, the mask. Maybe I have to read the latest Uncanny X-Men. I really like that. It looks really cool. And it says it's continued in Uncanny X-Men number 7. I think that comes out next week. That's it. That is X-Men. Quick synopsis of X-Men. A non-in-depth reading of X-Men number 8. All right, that's going to do it for this week's haul. And this week's adventures and excursions. And yeah, we'll do it all again next week. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.